He also has covered the FIFA World Cups in 2006, 2010, European Championships, 2008, Premier League, Championship League, League Domestic, Irish International Soccer. So are you getting a hint that maybe he's from Ireland? And as well as hosting different sports scene and Gaelic games and rugby, athletics, and boxing. He also has worked for the Big Ten Network here in town. As a freelancer, he still does, I think, in some capacities. So he's well connected with the Chicago media. He's worked his way in based on his skills and hard work and doing the extra things and getting noticed eventually by people who gave him opportunities, and he climbed the ladder rather quickly. So without further ado, I want to please welcome our Chicago Fire's own television analyst, Mr. Kevin Egan.
Hey guys, how are you? Everyone, thanks. That's very flattering, to be honest. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it is an honor. It's cool to be here because I was like in your position in class. It doesn't seem like long ago at all, and enjoy it as well because I miss those days as well where you can just roll in and kind of have fun and hang out with your friends as well. So, who's interested in sports? Anybody here? Yeah, anyone a soccer fan at all or Bulls? Watch the game last night? Not impressed, no? No? Who's soccer? Yeah, would you follow the Fire? Or no? Premier League?
Yeah, club league.
Who's your team?
I like Manchester City.
I can make the joke now, you just started supporting them in the last year or two, no?
Yeah, no, I used to play soccer when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
it was good.
Nice
Yeah,
one.
good.
Well, I think it's, anyone, what other kind of forms of media, broadcasting or journalism, who's interested in like fashion or news? Anybody? What are you interested in? News? What would you like to be? Yeah? Nice. Anybody? Yeah, cool. Really cool. What about yourself?
Fashion, news anchor, or reporter.
Yeah? Nice one. Well, the thing I would say is I was just sat down last night and I was kind of trying to come up with, does this work, by the way? Is this on? I think it is. I just want to make sure you can hear me. I was trying to think back to when I was in college and when the moment kind of, I played a lot of soccer at home growing up and tried to play every sport and stuff like that, and I tore my ACL on my knee, and it was a case of, okay, you're ruled out, you can't do anything for the best part of a year. So, and then I did it again, and I could barely turn on my leg, I could barely run or anything, and it was okay, do I sit around, play computer games, or do you figure out what you want to try and do and try and get some sort of a career out of it? So I was fascinated by sports shows and trying to figure out, how do you get involved in journalism, how do you get into a TV station? And what I did was, which worked out really well, I applied to go into the audience of shows all the time. And I went to a show called Questions and Answers. It was like a political show, and just sat in the audience, went to like the Late Late Show at home, which is like a Letterman over here. And what I did was I talked to the floor manager, like the stage manager over here. So I talked to him, and what we have in Ireland, we have in our rundown, it's like a running order of the whole show. There's telephone numbers and everything like that for people that work on the show. So I asked him, could I have a copy of one of the running orders? And he said, yeah, no problem. And I phoned everybody on that list. And I ended up phoning the same guy twice, once and then about a week later. And he was fairly rude. He was fairly rude on the phone. He kind of said to me, look, don't call me again. I'm busy. I have other things to do. I was 19-year-old bugging him. And he said, look, there's actually a production company now that's just started up where you can get in and be a production runner in a TV station. So I called them. And I think, to be honest, one of the things I realized straight off the bat is when you're in college and you're having fun, making that initial contact, deciding, okay, I'm going to actually make contact today. I'm going to go out of my way to call someone or to see if I can meet them for lunch, take them for a coffee, whatever it is. That initial breakthrough is the hardest thing to do. Just be aggressive enough about it where you're aggressive, but there's a fine line between being aggressive and annoying. Be aggressive about it, but just contact people and go out of your way to say, like, I want to work with the Bulls, for example. And, contact someone from the Bulls and see if you can get in there that way. Also, there's always internships online. That goes without saying. There's always internships with the Big Ten Network, with the Fire. The Chicago Fire had a girl actually recently, and the Big Ten Network had another guy, both on internships. A guy named Adam was an intern with the Big Ten, and he just came in, and his attitude from day one, he came up to me at my desk and he just said, "Is there anything I can help you with?" Because he oftentimes with internships, you get thrown in there, and it's just like, oh, he's an intern, and nothing really gets thrown your way sometimes. So then you have a decision to make. Do I sit there and do I do nothing? Or do I make the most of being in a fully HD station where I've got all these facilities and these good people around me? So Adam asked me, is there anything that I could do? And I tried to I started a soccer show with the Big Ten Network, just a free online soccer show. And like, I had no help with it at all. So Adam, every week when he came in, was editing the highlights, putting together scripts. He was basically a producer, and he was an intern. He learned how to do everything in no time whatsoever because he wanted to. And it was his attitude that makes him stand out. And I know he's doing another course right now, but as soon as he becomes available, I've said to my boss, hire him. He's just got a great attitude, you know. And if your attitude can shine through like that, there's no doubt in my mind that you'd be hired. Because for every person that has a great attitude, there's 10 people that aren't as good. So know that, you know. Yeah, it's a great question. I'd never really wanted to be on air. It was never something that I just wanted to get involved and work on the show. In saying that, my hero growing up was a host back in Ireland. I used to watch the show, and every week I'd be like, this guy is talking about football. He's the coolest job in the world. Like, how can he get paid good money for studying sports? And I kind of, in the back of my mind, thought that'd be really cool to do that. But when I came to the network, when I got in with the Big Ten, the big thing for me was nobody cared about soccer. Genuinely. My boss at the time, I won't name any names, but he said to me, I went in there one day and I kept pestering him, and he said to me bluntly, he goes, I don't like your accent. I don't want to put an Irish accent on air. And you're like, okay, what do you say to that? Hey man, I'm not going to start talking like an American right now just for you. You know, you're just there's nothing you can do. If that's the way you speak, that's the way you speak. But for him to tell me that, I thought was wrong. And if anything, that makes you can go one way or the other. You can cry about it, you can get shook up, and you can go home and be like, all right, it's over. Or you can say, forget him. You know, I didn't think he was any good at his job anyway, and he's not there anymore. So, and then you get a chance when someone else comes along. So, yeah. So that was, I suppose, starting the soccer show at the network, the online show. I started that because he wouldn't let me do games. So I went to my studio boss and said, the facilities are here. Everything is here. And there's say, for example, on a Monday, there could be a 3-hour gap where there's nothing being done. Everybody's in place. Cameramen are there. The director's there. Can I start a soccer show? And my boss at the network is a cool guy, and he's the most laid back. He's a big basketball fan. He's just like, they call me Dubs at work, so I'm from Dublin. And he goes, Dubs, do what you want, man. And I said, seriously? He said, yeah, if you want to produce it, and if you want to put it together and do it yourself, do it. And so all of a sudden you're being given the go-ahead to do your own show in a fully HD station, which is pretty cool. And now, since then, other people have gotten involved. Northwestern's all-time leading goal scorer, Matt Eliason, who just scored a goal with Messi and friends. I don't know if you saw. He was on SportsCenter a while ago. He scored an overhead kick. He comes in on a weekly basis now to be analyst. And it's cool because it's starting to grow legs. And my goal is in a year or two to hopefully have a proper soccer show on the Big Ten Network, and for the game to be growing within the network. There's no reason why every one of you today, when you leave this classroom, just to go home and go online, Google a place that you'd like to work, and just drop someone a note and say, I'm a fan of what you do. I really like what you do, and someday I'd like to try and get in, and you know, if anything comes up internship wise, or if I could come in and meet you for a coffee someday, and go in and just get some advice, because these people who have been doing it for years and years and years, and much older than me, like they're like Larry and Bill, like fountain of knowledge, seriously. So just always ask for advice and be inquisitive, because you never know everything. You're like Larry, I'm sure you'd agree, you learn every day. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're learning every single day. And it's a competitive world out there as well. So like I said, the day you decide, I'm just going to have a lie-in today, I'm unemployed, I'm out of college, but I'm just going to lie in till 12 o'clock. The day you decide to do that is the day someone else gets the job that you would have applied for if you were motivated. Think about it that way. Yeah, I'm pretty much full time at the Big Ten, so that's where I'm going. Straight after this, I'm going into be an associate producer on BTN Live, which is on at 5 p.m. Central today. So I'm gonna go in and help produce that, and that's kind of my job. I'll be absolutely honest. I love the control room, but as of like the last few months doing the Fire games, it's just so much fun, and it's just fun. There's no stress element to it. There really isn't, you know. And when you're live in a control room, it can get frantic and crazy, and you need to be calm, because on a football Saturday at Big Ten Network, let me tell you, for anyone that would like to, you know, contact me or come in at some point, we could do it at separate weeks. Let me know afterwards. It is frantic, and it's just crazy. It's 12 games on one day when it's non-conference is insane. Like, I don't know who you guys support in college football or whatever else, but if your Big Ten teams are playing, it's nuts. It really is. It's a madhouse. But we get food though. Sometimes we get some nice food. That's nice. Yeah. Who agrees with me here? Does anyone agree with me when that light goes on and you're in front of it? Does anyone else just get that sense where their heart drops, where you're like, what do I do? What just happened? And my first ever Big Ten Network, it was a btn.com. It was a internet segment, and I was the soccer analyst for it or whatever else, and I was so nervous, and you could tell because I kept swallowing. The other way when you're nervous, but then it's just reps. After that, it's practice, and also the other thing is figuring out in your head, how do I just psych myself out of being nervous? And it's like you realize sometimes that, like, you know, you only get one shot at life, and without trying to be, I'd hate to sound like a preacher or like one of those motivational speakers, but you do, like, you know, and you only get one chance. And we've all had people, I'm sure, in our lives that have passed away young and old, and dear friends and things like that. And one of my best friend in the whole world died a couple of years ago of a heart attack. He was 25, and he was like the biggest motivational type, and he was just brilliant. And it made you realize, like, just go for it. Just Nike have the greatest slogan. Just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't think twice about it, because the moment you just do it, you'll thank yourself. That's when you'll say to yourself, I made the right decision. It's honestly, it's a great question, because it's something I've been trying to, like, when the topic comes up, it's like no, because it's the job came about by accident rather than design. I've done some play-by-play for the network, but they gave me a chance doing the colour, and I've been doing my coaching badges and stuff like that as well, and I've been involved in soccer all my life. But to get that job and not be a former player is different. It's very different, because every other Major League Soccer club has a former player except Chicago and Columbus. Columbus have a substitute who's in right now who didn't play professionally, but he coaches a lot. So yeah, it's one of those jobs where at the start I was thinking to myself, I can't do this. There's no way I'm going to be respected in any way. But what I've been told from the fans, at least some fans, is that we can relate to you a little bit better than maybe a former player. So hopefully that side works a little bit. I'm not sure. Time will tell, I suppose. Come back next year. Yeah.
Listen, Kevin, we appreciate your time.
No, thank you guys very much.
We met Kevin. Actually, I met Kevin at your anniversary.
It was the Fire anniversary.
Anniversary at Toyota Park, and just so happens Erica Beatty, who is works in our missions department, fiance. Everybody's getting married around here. Fiance entered a contest to design a third kit jersey that the Fire will wear, and everybody had to email to vote, and it was a long competition, if I remember, and it went for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And I know that Erica was telling me there was people that was constantly emailing him. Anyway, he won. Yeah. So Erica's fiance won the competition, so they're going to wear his jersey at certain designated games. Then the design that he designed for the game.
It's the third kit, and that's another story of it's a great story. Freddie Cristiano, the designer, Erica's fiance, like, that's a story where you look at it and say, okay, I'm entering a competition. How many of you have entered competitions before? And you're like, oh, there's no way I'm going to win. That's the first thing I'd say. I don't know you guys. Oh, there's no way I'm going to win. But why enter if you're not going to give it your all and go 100% in for it? And
designed this jersey where the slogan basically is wear your heart on your sleeve. So it's a beautiful jersey. It's like a black jersey with a blue stripe coming down. There's so many details within the jersey. It's attention to detail is incredible. So yeah, congratulations to Freddie and Erica. It's really, really cool. It's a great jersey and fans will love it, I'm sure.
Well, anyway, you're welcome back anytime you want to come down the street.
Oh, good. Thanks for
And,
having me, honestly, this
I'm
was
sure,
fun.
I'm sure there's some students here. I'm sure there's some students here that are hungry, that want to be polite pains in the asses, that want to see you after this time.
No, it's
and
fine.
stay in touch with you. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, be
Yeah, I have I don't know actually. I have to look.
we'll get it broke so
You'll
we
have
can get
this.
back to their class, their
Yeah.
curriculum, and this class is the August class, and very good class, very good dynamic class, a lot of energy in this class, so a lot of talent, and they'll probably be in touch with you one way or another going down the road. So thank you, Kevin.
No,
Appreciate it.
cheers. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks.